Sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. We usually use this time before Salatul Jummah to answer questions that have been submitted online. If you're interested in having your question answered, you can go to hijrah.info, that's hijrah.info/QA, if you're interested in having your question answered. Oh, we didn't finish the marriage discussion. So I think I had spent 2 or 3 weeks blaming the parents. Now it's my time. Now it's the children's time to get to hear from me. I think that many times it becomes very easy to blame our parents and saying that they didn't prepare us for marriage or they didn't push us to get married. And I agree that that's wrong. But the moment I recognize that something is wrong, I am now obligated to do something about it. The Prophet ﷺ was orphaned. He ﷺ changed homes. He ﷺ was raised in poverty. So if anybody wants to talk about trauma, if anybody wants to talk about obstacles, if anybody wants to talk about difficulties, look at how our beloved Messenger ﷺ overcame them. That's reality. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. He says that with hardship comes ease, and He Azza wa Jal repeats it, saying with hardship comes ease. And what is the hardship? The hardship is what I faced, the difficulty. Okay, I didn't have the manual, I wasn't prepared, I didn't know. What is the excuse now? And this is the question I have for the youth. What is the excuse now? Yes, oh, my father didn't tell me, my mother, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. We all have shortcomings. There are certain aspects that we didn't do well in. Okay, yes, I provided financially, I gave you an education, I should have done this and I didn't do it, I apologize. Now what? And I think youth, they suffer from a number of things, and the ones that I've dealt with very specifically, it's like, oh Shaykh, I'm having a difficulty getting married, or I'm having this problem, I'm having this issue. Okay, well, where are you looking? Well, nobody's coming and approaching me. Like, well, who are you? Are you some kind of king that, that all of these women are waiting to marry you? It's a very selfish mindset. And the advice I have for our young women, many times you will put your career first, many times you'll put your jobs first, many times you'll put your education first. And I'm telling you, as a brother, and I had this conversation with my wife, and my wife, she's like, why do you keep telling these young women to marry younger? Why do you keep telling them that they can't wait? I said, listen, because I experience it and I see it. I said, once women start getting close to 30 or at 30 or above 30, their options become very limited. And I'm not saying this because I encourage it or because it's a good thing. I'm only sharing it because it's a fact. And if I understand, and we understand that this is a fact, the earlier you should get married. And she was like, I still don't think you should discourage them. I said, well, you're not allowed to say that. And she said, why? I was like, you got married when you were 25. I was like, you're speaking from a place of privilege. Like, you got married at the right time, and then you're telling other women, like, go ahead and wait. That's not fair. And again, my advice. And well, I want to do this, and I want to do this. And I have parents also saying like, oh, well, what if they have school, and what if they... Walillah alhamd, I say that we as an ummah, we have the ability to walk and chew gum at the same time. And if a husband or a wife, they want to continue an education, they want to open a business, they want to start something, that is the couple's decision. Right? That's something that they need to decide together. That's something that they need to determine together. The moment I hit 16, 17, 18, the options that I had when I was a child are not the same as the options I have at that age. Oh, I want to stop everything and I want to do hifz. I'm sorry, you can't. You have parents, you have responsibilities, there are other things that you have to do. You can do that also, but you can't only do that. Those options are only when we're children and when we're small. Why? Because all the responsibilities are offloaded onto our parents. But the moment I become an adult, in Islam, it's very young. When does taklifa come? When are we held accountable? The moment we're pubescent. And for many young men, this is when they hit the age of about 13 or 14. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now hold you accountable for every salah. He's not going to hold you accountable if you have any money. He's going to hold you accountable when Ramadan comes around. There's no more excuses. And if we understand that taklifa starts at this age, and that I'm held accountable at that age, what steps am I taking in order to become a productive adult in society? And what does that mean? It means I have to do sometimes 1, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 5 things at the same time. Is it hard? Yes. But this world is dar al-ibtila. That's what this world is. This is not Jannah. If I want to clear all of the noise and I want to stop everything and I want to do one thing, my advice to you, there's only two places you can go. You either go backwards and we go back to when we were children, or we go forward and we have to go so forward that we already made it into Jannah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from the people of Jannah. Ameen. Because these are the only two times that we can actually do that. So for those of you that, oh, I want to do this first and I want to do that first, have a meaningful conversation with somebody who's older, have a meaningful conversation with a mentor, with a sheikh, with an imam, with a parent, and be like, is this a realistic goal? Do I need to fulfill this before I do that? And many times it's just a matter of looking at trajectory. And I like using the example of many of our young men and young women who go to study medicine. Medical school takes time, there's no doubt. But many times in the tail end of their medical school, like you're on this age, you're on like 24, 25, and they've already gotten a fellowship into a hospital. Their parents are helping them get married. And what are they doing? They're working, they're doing their fellowship, and they're working, like what, 80 hours? Is that right? Unfortunately. Yeah, it's about 80 hours a week. And the pay is like what, $20,000, $30,000? The benefit is they get free housing, correct? So these guys are working about 80 hours a week. Young men working about 80 hours a week. They're getting married. They have free housing, and it's not really an amazing house, and they're making about $20,000, $30,000 a year. Is it hard? Yes, it is. Is it challenging? For sure. Is it rewarding? Absolutely. Because if me and my wife can learn how to manage this difficulty and these financial challenges and these restrictions, it makes the marriage that much more successful once all of those things are lifted. So can it be done? Yes. Is it hard? 100%. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, if you want ease, well, what do I need to have with it? I need to have hardship. Allah promises that these things are forever paired. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Look at it this way. Without hardship, ease can never come. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq.